With reprints and restocks hitting the shelves right now across the board for a bunch of different sets, today we're talking about 151. I know everybody loves 151. It's getting really hard to get hold of right now, and people crying out for more of it. Well, there already has been some, especially here in the UK, which have hit the shelves, but they went incredibly quick. But there is more coming, from booster bundles to mini tins. But what about any of the other products? Well, we don't really know much about any other restock/reprints of 151 apart from the booster bundles right now and the mini tins. There was more booster bundles that already hit the Pokemon Center. Here in the UK, they lasted for about a couple of hours and then they were gone. But there are still more coming over the next couple of months. So today we'll be going through what is going on in the market with 151 in the US and over here in the UK, and also what is going on with the card prices of the set, because they are starting to now finally climb. Let's jump in. All right, first product we want to talk about today is the booster bundle, arguably one of the most popular products in the 151 range, right? Between this and the ETB, everybody loves getting the booster bundles because it just gives you 6 packs. That's it. No extra stuff you don't want. You just get the 6 packs and you're done. Now, of course, when this came out, this was, the cheapest way of getting the packs. It was like, made it like $4 a pack. It was like $24. That's not the case anymore. This thing has been climbing like crazy, and we're going to go back and we're going to see what's been going on. So the set's been out over a year now, and we can see that this thing has climbed 17% from a year ago. And that's pretty good going, right? Bearing in mind, this is a cheaper product than an ETB, for instance, but still it is doing relatively well. And like I said, there has been a lot more sold, as you can see here. So there was, a decent amount being sold, but over the last few weeks, a lot more booster bundles have been sold. Now, you could say this could be people selling off some of their booster bundles before more come, and so they can buy more. It's probably what the case is going to be. How big is this restock reprint coming? We just don't know. We just had Paldea Evolve hit, and it wasn't very big. Like, literally, it was a restock. There was a few, booster boxes that landed, and the market just ate it up really quickly and just carried on. So it'd be interesting to see how many booster bundles are actually going to arrive. Like over here in the UK, we did have them, like I say, come back in stock on the Pokemon Center website. They were limited to 1 per order. You could have ordered more for each order. So, you could get 10, 20, 30, 40, but every single one had to be a single order, which made it a little bit more of a pain. But it didn't last very long at all, and the booster bundles sold out very quickly. I believe they were at their retail cost of £25 or whatever they were. So that was a really, really good price if you're able to pick up those booster bundles from the Pokemon Center website. Now, you could be saying, all right, so what else is coming? Well, over here in the UK anyway, I don't really know what the situation is over in the US. I don't know whether or not big box retailers are going to get it. I don't know if the Pokemon Center is going to get it. But over here in the UK, we are having big toy stores like Smith's that are getting it, restocked. You could be seeing online retailers getting them as well. I know that my local game store near me is getting some in. They did say it's going to be a small amount, but they are getting some booster bundles in. Same with the mini tins. They are getting the mini tins in as well. I believe they're getting more mini tins than booster bundles, but still not a huge amount compared to what they would normally get from other sets. When they get stuff like Paldea and Fates in, or they get in Shroud of Fable. Not quite on that level, but definitely more mini tins than booster bundles. Now, over here in the UK, for booster bundles, they are selling relatively expensive. Now, you can't get hold of them at the moment, especially from the Pokemon Center website. You've had a lot of people that bought it from the Pokemon Center website and flipping it as quick as possible to make a quick profit. So we see them here sell for about £45. There's a seal case there for £500. £45. We have a set of 5 here for £250, so we're close to £250. So you look at nearly £50. 46, 47 there, 45. So you're looking anywhere between £45 and £50 a booster bundle, which is pretty wild. That is not cheap at all. Bearing in mind, you only get 6 packs inside. If we're looking at the ETB, I don't believe there's going to be any ETBs coming, so pretty much ETBs are just getting more and more expensive. We are nearly reaching $90 on TCG Player. Over here in the UK, which we'll look at in a minute, it's also climbing pretty high. $88, it's really impressive. Over the past 3 months, this has gone up 27%, which is crazy. Over the past year, it's gone up 60%. Bearing in mind, this ETB, as you can see down here, was around that $45 to $50 range. It's quite scary, right? The fact is that nearly a year ago, it was around that, and now it's doubled in its price, which is just absolutely crazy. And you get 9 packs inside, so you know you're looking at around about $9 a pack, or just over $9 a pack, roughly, for this. You know, which is crazy. You know, it is crazy, and I just don't see it falling. You know, this has already surpassed a Celebrations ETB, which, you know, as we know, Celebrations was a big talking point a couple of years ago regarding investing. But I think now we're looking at, you know, 151 really being a juggernaut, and I could really see 151 being that same realm as Hidden Fates, you know, at that $160, $170 plus range down the line. I could see that happening, but this is just a regular one. When we look over here in the UK for normal ETBs, we're looking around about 100, and this is the Pokemon Center one. So there you go, £105 for the Pokemon Center one. I was like, wow, that's expensive, but no, that's the Pokemon Center ETB. Regular ETB is $82.50. So for an extra £20, you get the Pokemon Center one. If I'm being honest, I'd prefer to go for the Pokemon Center one, mainly because the promo, you get an extra card in there. And even if you open it, I think the Snorlax promo is at least £20. So yeah, that's going to be pretty good. So we look at Pokemon Center 1, 110, 125. That was a multi-buy special. Got 100 there. Again, these are all Pokemon Center ETBs, which, you know, they're the best ones. 75 for a normal one. So you're looking probably about, I would say 80 would probably be the average for a regular ETB, and about 110 for the Pokemon Center one. And then we've got the UPC. I talked about this recently in a previous video, maybe about a week or so ago, basically saying, look, this is going to be a home run to pick up. This is going to be a really good product. Just because it's out of stock on the Pokemon Center website, which means it's no longer 120 out the door, it is going to be more and more expensive. And you can see here, $175. This thing has boomed. It's gone up 45% in the past 3 months. Over the past year, this thing has climbed 76%. We're going to see this go up. The promos are getting, you know, more pricey. They're going up in price as well. We saw it with the Charizard UPC. Now we're seeing it with the 151 UPC. You know, I do still believe this is, now it's sold out, going to be a home run product. I mean, it was good product anyway if you could have picked up from the Pokemon Center website. If you were picking these up and snatching these up for 120 out the door, you were doing very well. You really were. It was just the pre-order prices before this came out was just terrible. But, you know, once it got released, it was just a great product to pick up. The fact is that you could have picked it up under $100 a year ago. You know, it's crazy to think that, you know, $100 nearly doubled its value in the year. So, yeah, this is going to be a really good one. You know, I've had a couple of people message me saying, Jace, do you think the 151 UPC will go up to that Celebrations UPC? I mean, has that potential, right? I believe it does. You know, I really do. Especially just because of how amazing 151 is. Okay, so that's the sealed product. So we know what's coming, right? We've got booster bundles. We've got some mini tins. UPC is going to be, you know, much harder to get hold of, much more expensive. You know, to get hold of, keep sealed and stuff. Then on top of that, you got the ETBs. In my opinion, Pokemon Center ETB is probably better than picking up just a normal ETB. But again, they're very, very expensive. And I can see them, you know, the fact they've already surpassed Celebrations. Like I said, I can see them going up to the Hidden Fates level. Now, when we look at the cards, now I've talked a lot about the cards in the past, saying, oh, hang on a minute, you know, sealed products climbing like crazy. Why aren't the single cards going up? A lot of them were actually either being stale, you know, just stagnant, or they were dropping. They weren't really climbing. Well, now we started to see the single cards shift up. The overall value of the set is $954. That has gone up recently as well. I did a video where I covered all these sets, and this set wasn't worth this much. Things are shifting. So we look at the Charizard now, making over $150 for the Charizard. It sat around that 100 to 120 for the longest time, and it did genuinely look like at one point it was going to drop below 100, but now it is 150. Then we have the Blastoise coming in at 52. Venusaur is pushing its way up above that $50 range now, so it's climbed up the ranks and now in the number 3 slot, maybe might overtake the Blastoise. Then we've got the Zapdos coming in at $42. That's kind of sat around $40 for the longest time. Then we've got the Charmander, again, another card that's really been pushing up through the prices at $37. Then we've got the Full Art Charizard coming in at $36. Squirtle, again, another card, especially for an illustration rare, pushing its way up at $35. Alakazam at $30. Bulbasaur at $28. Charmeleon at $26. Right, so when we look for the set, now I value a set, or, you know, I would say like a set's good in my eyes if it reaches certain little thresholds. Does it have a card over $100? Does it have several cards at $50? Does it have several cards at $30? How many cards does it have over $10? Right? And in my opinion, for a good set, or a really good set, it needs to tick all those boxes. It needs to have a card that has over $100. It needs to have a few cards that's over $50. And it needs to have, a somewhat decent amount of cards at $30 and a good chunk at above 10. Right? Now, not every set ticks those boxes, and sometimes not every set ticks those boxes, but it's still a really good set. An example would be Crown Zenith. I don't think the Guillotine is over $100 yet. That's an example of a really strong set. Got several cards over $50, got several cards over $30, and so on and so forth. So let's look at 151. So we do have a card that's over $100 with the Charizard. Okay, so tick that box. We do have 2 cards over $50. Brilliant. And then over $30, this is where it's like quite surprising, is that we actually have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, nearly 9 cards that are at that $30 range, which is very, very impressive. Then we look at $10 and we keep scrolling down, and how far do we go? So we go to the Alakazam. So we're looking at what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 cards in the set over $10. That is impressive. Like, that is actually impressive. But it's not even that, right? That makes 151 a really good set, and that overall set value is pushing upwards towards that $1,000. Is when you start scrolling down, right? You start looking at things like full arts. Normally, full arts in a lot of these sets, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era, are usually a couple of dollars each, maybe $2, $3 each for a push, right? But we're seeing multiple cards that are above that, right? Above that $5 range. But then we go even further. We have, EXs that are worth, $2, $3. We've got reverses that are over $2 for a set, which is crazy, right? Normally I would classify reverses as pretty much bulk. But the fact is the reverses in this set are worth more than some of the EXs, as an example. So things like that is really, really interesting. And I think overall the set, really strong illustration rares across the board. It's a nostalgia set. It's like pretty much the set which old collectors just absolutely love and adore. And this is what's happened. We've seen it with the sealed product prices. The single card prices have held very well and have now started to climb. And I think once we have this restock of booster bundles and mini tins or whatever is coming into 2025, expect to see not only the sealed product rise, but the single card prices rise. Really, really do. Because you're going to start seeing, people going, oh, I don't have the cards yet. I don't have this. I don't have that for my master sets or whatever it is. And you're going to see these cards start to really push. You might start to see graded card prices fall because more and more people will get these cards graded because more packs are going to be opened. But they will also bounce back as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen with this set moving forward. I expect Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard to keep pushing upwards because they're so iconic. But then on top of that, I do expect to see the normal illustration rares, the Charmander, the Squirrel, and the Bulbasaur push up as well. So you may find that the top 6 most expensive cards would be the starter Pokemon and their evolutions. That's pretty much how I think it will go down the line. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But yes, the single card prices of this set really booming. So there you have it, guys. That is what has been going on with 151. Is it going to have a massive impact in the market? No. Paldea Evolved didn't really have a big impact, if in fact any real impact at all. These will be, eaten up super quickly. These booster bundles are going to fly off the shelf. These mintins are going to fly off the shelf. You see like a little dip, and then it will bounce straight back up. And that might be it. We might not see any more 151 after this winter, and that's it. This is one of the best sets, if not the best set in the Scarlet and Violet era, especially when it comes to a non-booster box set. Very, very strong. All of the products are going crazy. I mean, over here in the UK, things are getting silly expensive for 151, where you're looking at £9-10 a pack at least for 151. It really is pushing more and more. And like I say, I think this will go the same way as Hidden Fates. That's my prediction. I think we're going to see ETBs go towards that $160, $170 range, and potentially seeing 151 packs at $15 a piece, £15 a piece down the line, which is going to be pretty insane. If you made fun of the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments about this reprint slash restock of 151. I don't think it's going to make a huge deal. You know, we might see, you know, some card prices drop a little bit, maybe some sealed product prices have a little blip, but really not really much. Grab them while you can. If you can pick up some booster bundles, if you can get hold of them sealed, grab them while you can. Same with the UPC and things like that. Get them while you can, because they will continue to climb. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, you guys are legends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.